Today, we're going to be taking a look at the DJI Osmo 5. The Osmo 5 came out in 2021, and so it's a fairly new piece of kit that is loaded with a bunch of cutting-edge features and design. We'll walk you through the pros and the cons of the device, and weigh up if it's the smartphone gimbal for you. The OM5's retail price, not on sale as advertised on the DJI website at the time of this video, is £139. This is a slight bit more than the previous models such as the 4SE or even the more recent Mobile SE, but it is slightly cheaper than the 6. So what separates the 5 from these other gimbals in the handheld Osmo range? Well, before we get into that, let's start with what comes in the box. As with most other DJI gear, you get a fair helping of accessories such as a pouch for the gimbal and the accessories, a USB-C cable, a magnetic clamp for attaching your phone to the gimbal, a spacer pad for the magnetic clamp, a small tripod for mounting to the bottom of the gimbal via its 1/4-inch screw mount, and the gimbal itself. The gimbal comes in two color options, sunset white and Athens grey. Our gimbal here is the sunset white option and has a nice off-white slightly pink tone to it. Our OM5 here has already been unboxed, as we've been using this in our kit for a good while already. The OM5 is the lightest and smallest handheld gimbal in DJI's range of smartphone gimbals to date, weighing in at just 340 grams with a magnetic clamp attached, and measuring in at 18.9 by 4.4 centimeters folded and 27.6 by 9.9 centimeters unfolded. This is great for anyone looking to find a slightly more pocketable and portable gimbal that is better suited for travels and for throwing into a small carry bag for a day trip or event. This reduction in size doesn't come without its drawbacks, however. To start, the ergonomics of the unit aren't that great when compared to other gimbals in the Osmo range. The handle on the OM5 is less molded and fits a little more awkwardly in your hands. It's still a relatively comfortable experience, and I wouldn't let this downside put you off considering the gimbal. However, it's not the sole downside that stems from this reduction in the unit's size. The gimbal's battery life is only 6 hours 24 minutes long. This might not seem too poor, but when compared to other gimbals in the Osmo range, which can average anywhere from 8 to 15 hours of battery life, the OM5 does fall short. Of course, if you're only going to be using the gimbal on a casual basis, then this might not be a sticking point. Charging the gimbal is a brisk task, with it getting to full battery in a snappy 1 hour 24 minutes, and this helps to justify the shorter battery life, as charging it back up to full capacity isn't that big of a burden. The gimbal, as with most DJI products, is easy to operate and handle. Unlike other gimbals from DJI, the OM5 has an inbuilt selfie stick that allows the user greater control over the kind of shots they can employ, and plays into the OM5 as being a piece of kit designed for vlogging and content creation. The button layout on the OM5 is much the same as other Osmo series gimbals. The joystick beside the record button allows for the panning and tilting of the gimbal to be controlled manually, and the zoom rocker on the side of the unit allows you to zoom in or out with your phone without having to touch your touchscreen. The trigger on the front of the gimbal, when pressed in, locks off the orientation of your phone at the time of its pressing and maintains that orientation as you move the gimbal around. If you double tap the M button, you can switch the gimbal from shooting landscape to portrait mode. The difference between just relying on using your phone handheld and using the gimbal is clear to see. Here's some footage to demonstrate just how significant this difference is. The OM5 uses the DJI Mimo app, which is an easy-to-use, intuitively laid out bit of software that hosts a range of features such as regular time lapses, hyperlapses, motion lapses, 240-degree panoramic shots, free-by-free panoramic shots, gesture control, and ActiveTrack 5.0. There are also some great creative features such as the dynamic zoom feature that replicates a dolly zoom effect, and the spin shot mode that rotates the gimbal on an axis as you push in or pull out. In summary, I'd say that the OM5 is a gimbal with a specific audience in mind, people looking for a lightweight, compact version of the Osmo line for the purposes of vlogging and casual content creation. If that sounds like you, then the OM5 is probably a solid choice, but if you're looking for a better battery life, better ergonomics, and don't mind a larger unit size, then maybe the 4SE or the more recent Mobile SE would be better options.